Let me take you to all of you to the ancient world. The first farmers. For most of human history, people found food by hunting wild animals and gathering berries, nuts, and roots. They lived as nomads, following the herd of animals they hunted. Then, about 10,000 years ago, a huge change took place. People learned how to grow crops and rear animals for food. Mesopotamia and Sumer. One of the world's earliest civilizations grew up on the fertile plains between the river Tigris and Euphrates in what is now Iraq. The area became known as Mesopotamia, the land between the two rivers. About 5000 BC, the Sumerians settled in southern Mesopotamia. Ancient Egypt. Without the life-giving water of the river Nile, ancient Egypt would have been a barren desert, too dry for farming. The river gave the ancient Egyptians drinking water as well as water for irrigation. It also deposited rich soil along its bank each year when it flooded. The king was the most powerful person in the ancient Egypt. He was worshipped as the god Horus. From about 1554 BC, the king was given the title Pharaoh, from the Egyptian words "fara", making great house. The Celts. Celtic people spread westward across Europe from about 800 BC. They live in tribal groups, settling in hill forts and farms. The Celts were unable to unite against a common enemy, the formidable Roman legions. Hinduism. The Hindu religion began more than 4,000 years ago as idea from the Indus Valley civilization mingled with those of invading peoples. Under Ashoka, Buddhism became the major religion of India. Hinduism enjoyed a revival under the Guptas. Today, more than 3/4 of Indians are Hindu. One of the major symbols of Hinduism in the world, Om. Chandragupta's grandson, Emperor Ashoka, came to the throne in 269 BC. He extended the empire until most of India came into Mauryan Empire. After the collapse of the Mauryan Empire in about 185 BC, India was divided into small independent kingdoms. Buddhism was founded by Indian prince Siddhartha Gautama, who gave up his comfortable life to seek enlightenment. He found enlightenment while sitting and meditating under a Bodhi tree. He spent the rest of his life traveling and teaching. Buddhism teaches that people, like all living kinds, are part of an endless round of birth, change, death, and rebirth. Buddhism spread from India to other parts of Asia and beyond. Means Buddhism teaches the people, like all living things, are part of an endless round of birth, change, death, and rebirth. So let's talk about the Palestinians. Most Palestinians were Arabs. Small number of Jews, known as Zionists, began to settle in Palestine in the 1880s. In 1917, Britain declared its support of a Jewish homeland in Palestine. The Ottoman Empire was breaking up following Turkey's defeat in World War I. A new League of Nations gave Britain its mandate, permission to rule Palestine in the short term. Jews continued to settle in Palestine, especially when in the 1930s the Nazis in Germany began to persecute German Jews to escape imprisonment or murder those Jews who could begin to Others moved to Palestine. The growing number of immigration led to fighting between Jews and Arabs, and Britain tried to restrict the numbers of settlers allowed in.